Man, what's going on? What's up, everybody? All right, man, let me get a stream in right quick. So, it appears that, Canelo and Caleb Plant will have a super showdown December the 19th. I think it's going to be in Texas. I'll look up the information later on. Of course, I'll do a solo video talking about this fight. You know, um, I'm going to talk about Caleb Plant also in a separate video, you know, because I'm going to have to address this certain subject with Caleb Plant. And now that Caleb Plant is going to, headline a pay-per-view alongside Canelo, what's on the line for Caleb Plant? Hey, what's going on? So, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. Like I said, I'm going to talk about that later on. What's up, LB? So, I'm going to talk about Caleb Plant versus Canelo. I'll start off talking about that. Like I said, I like this fight. I like this fight, but, I'm going to have to keep it 100. I'm going to say something that people may not like, but I just got to keep it. I got to keep it a hundo because that's just how I roll. Like I said, I'm not politically correct. Like I said, I like this fight a lot. I like it a lot. I really do like this fight. This is going to be Canelo's PBC pay-per-view debut. And from what I heard, he signed a exclusive deal to fight his PBC fights on Showtime, not Fox. So once again, kudos to Steven Espinosa. He making power moves, and like I said, I think he just bought Showtime Boxing some more time by bringing back Canelo. And Canelo is only going to fight on pay-per-view under the PBC banner. He will not fight on free TV, and it's on a fight-by-fight basis. And he doesn't need a promoter. It will be under Canelo Promotions. Now, it's interesting to see what the undercard will be like. A lot of people don't like the idea of Canelo coming to the PBC because they feel like the other fighters that's been loyal to Al Heyman go get put on the back burner. And to a certain degree, I'm worried about that happening. But I mean, it is what it is. Canelo is considered, quote unquote, a big star. But like I said, I give Canelo credit for taking a fight like this because Canelo, his last few opponents, his last few fights have not been very ideal, eye-catching, exciting. He fought a Daniel Jacobs that basically showed up to just get paid. Just basically just standing there, really just collect your money, really don't try to fight. Then we all know what happened with Sergey Kovalev. Everybody and their mama thought that fight was fixed. Well, we about to find out. But I'm worried about Canelo going to the PBC because he's supposed to be a quote unquote star. Now, in reality, the way I vision this fight, Caleb Plant should be able to box Canelo's ears off. Because Canelo, he's always, and when I say he's always had trouble with slick, mobile boxers. And what is Caleb Plant? A slick, mobile boxer. And not to mention, he is way bigger than Canelo. On paper, Caleb Plant should win this fight. But then I'm worried about the fix being in. I just got to say it. On paper, it looked like Caleb Plant should be able to outbox Canelo's ass off. But then it just seemed like Canelo has to win this fight Because if he doesn't win this fight, then the fight that they really want to make, a showdown between him and Charlo, don't have really as much value as it could have if he goes into that fight coming off a victory. So it's kind of like they making Caleb Plant like the sacrificial lamb, the scapegoat, to help sell a pay-per-view with him and Charlo. Caleb Plant has somewhat of a name, but a lot of I'll just say a lot of people don't like Caleb Plant because of the certain type of swagger that he possessed, which, like I said, I'm gonna talk about that in a solo video. Because like I said, I just gotta keep it 100. Like I said, on paper, Caleb Plant should be able to win this fight. But in reality, they may tell Caleb Plant to fall back. And they may say, okay, we'll promise you, something big down the line, but just fall back. Because I done seen Caleb Plant fight a whole bunch of times. And I know that he got a style that should give Canelo fits. Because Canelo had a hard time trying to hit Lara. Because, Lara was all over the place. He just couldn't really land nothing flush on him. A lot of people said he was running. They pick and choose what fighter be running. Because, like I said, well, if Lara was running, then Uslik was doing the marathon. I'm talking about he was doing the backwards marathon versus Shashura. But with us, they only call it running with us. And Canelo just couldn't hit him, and he got outboxed. And I thought that most people thought he lost that fight. Only people that thought Canelo won that fight was Mexicans. Because nobody thought he won that fight. But like, I'm just looking at the Caleb Plant fight. Caleb Plant have a style that's just wrong for Canelo. And I just don't, like I said, on paper, Caleb Plant should be able to win that fight. But I think they're going to tell him to fall back. And I'm telling you now, that Caleb Plant don't use his angles. You know what I'm saying? His slickness, and all of a sudden he just decided to be a slugger. Then I'm telling you now, the fix is in. If he don't fight like how he usually fight, and all of a sudden he try to become a slugger and try to stand and go toe to toe, and then end up losing rounds, then y'all already know what's up. I'm gonna make a lot of enemies when they hear this video. I know people gonna be mad, but like I said, I ain't on nobody's payroll, and I'm gonna say what need to be said. I already see what's coming. Cause I thought it's mighty strange that all of a sudden they put him in the ring with Caleb Plant, his PBC debut. What are you talking? Hey, clip this dude right here that's talking about here come the excuses. Hey, bro, you gone. So get rid of this dude right here. Block his ass. Now, anybody else want to try that shit? Anybody else? Hey, anybody with a wrench, anybody come on here and say something disrespectful, get rid of clap their ass. So who's next? Who's next? But anyway, as I was saying, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. I already see what's coming. I already see what's coming. Exactly, Lamonte. Everybody, man, Caleb Plant got a style that's just horrible for Canelo. And I'm telling you, I'm going to watch that fight closely. Canelo have trouble with slick fighters. I'm just telling you right now. And Caleb Plant, let me tell you something. Caleb Plant is a legitimate 6'1", and Caleb Plant is pretty damn big. Like, Caleb Plant probably walk around at, Caleb Plant probably, when he ain't fighting, he probably walk around at 185, 190. And he coming in at 168. So I'm just saying, he got a height advantage over Canelo. He probably should have a speed advantage. He should have a reach advantage. So, like I said, I just feel like I know what's gonna happen. But I'll play the game. Like I said, but I'm just telling you on this stream what I feel like is gonna happen. Cause I was like, Caleb Plant? Now, they may say, okay, they may the best man win. Because like I said, I'm going to be able to tell if the fight is on the up and up. Because that Sergey Kovalev fight, that fight was complete, utter bullshit. All of a sudden, Sergey Kovalev he ain't even as mobile as Caleb Plant. He was bothering Canelo just with his jab alone. If you go back and watch that fight, I thought he was beating Canelo. And then when he threw a couple of punches, a couple of right hands, he like shook Canelo. So then all of a sudden in that round, Canelo threw those combinations and Sergey Kovalev just folded. And I was like, man, I knew it was bullshit. And then Sergey Kovalev, not that I'm a fan of Sergey Kovalev, he already hinted. He said, well, it was a fight that was impossible for me to win. They put all the stipulations in the contract, weight stipulations, everything. You know, Canelo tried to control everything, the weight, the ring size, the gloves, all that kind of stuff. I know gloves is always an issue when it comes to boxers. I really, you know what I'm saying, I kind of understand the glove issue based off what happened with Tyson Fury and all this kind of shit. But the Canelo thing, Canelo is a straight weight pimp, and everybody knows it. Say what you want to say about Floyd. Floyd don't put no rehydration clauses in the contract. He let you come in at whatever weight, you know what I'm saying? He let you rehydrate to whatever weight you want to. That's why I wasn't trying to hear no excuses when Floyd shellacked Canelo. Because they saying Canelo rehydrated to they saying Canelo was like 170 when he fought Floyd. Like he rehydrated to 170. And Floyd beat the living hell out of Canelo. It didn't matter how much Canelo rehydrated. Canelo got a one-sided ass whooping via Floyd Mayweather. He got his clock clean. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Yeah, I mean, for real, it is what it is. I already know what's coming. I just see it coming. I already know what's coming, man. Canelo didn't win one round in that fight. He didn't win one round versus Floyd. And if anybody think that Canelo, that fight was a draw, you can get the fuck off this channel and don't ever bring your ass back. That fight wasn't even remotely close. He lost every round. And for that lady to sit up there and say that fight was a draw, she should have been banned from boxing. Well, she kind of was banned from boxing. She never got to. Oh, the NBA. Yeah, I already told you. I'm going to tune in on your channel when you do the draft. I'm going to tune in because it's on a Tuesday, so I'm going to definitely tap in. That's what I'm saying. Floyd was backing up Canelo. And here's something else. Everybody say Floyd, you know, it's funny the people that say Floyd can't punch. Well, if Floyd can't punch, how come Canelo was covering up when he was getting hit upside his head? How come Canelo wasn't walking through Floyd's punches? They all say that stupid shit. They all say that stupid shit. So like I said, if Floyd can't punch, then why was Canelo covering up then? Why was Canelo backing up when Floyd was like hitting him flush? So he obviously hit hard enough. You know, that's just that's just some bullshit that people make up. Man, Canelo's head was bouncing back so much he looked like a weeble wobble. Man, I don't know if you know, quiet as kept. This is how I know that the fight wasn't even close. Let me know. This is how I know the fight wasn't close. This is just real talk. Quiet as kept. They said that Canelo's corner thought about stopping the fight because he was getting his ass beat so bad. Floyd said he could have stopped Canelo if he wanted to. Floyd could have stopped Sugar Shane Mosley if he wanted to. But like I said, that would have damaged Canelo's career. But then at the end of the day, Canelo benefited from losing to Floyd Mayweather because look where he is now. Yeah. That lady was an idiot. I mean, that lady had to been on, I don't know, whatever she was on, she must have been high or whatever. She must have been high, she must have been drunk, because I don't know what 6 rounds. I need somebody to explain to me what 6 rounds Canelo won in that fight. I'm still trying to figure out what rounds do you think Canelo won in that fight? I really need for you to explain that to me. What rounds did she think Canelo won in that fight? Because if somebody can explain to me what rounds you think Canelo won against Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Please explain to me what 6 rounds you thought Canelo won in that fight. When Canelo was getting pinned up against the ropes, he was getting hit with every type of punch Floyd hit him with every type of punch you could think of. I'm just, like I said, I'm just waiting for somebody to explain to me, like, what 6 rounds you think Canelo won. Yeah, exactly. They was ready to stop that fight because he was getting hit so much. So I'm trying to figure out, can somebody please explain to me who listening to this stream, what 6 rounds you think Canelo won in that fight? So yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, let me move on to Devin Haney, because this is shit. This shit is starting to piss me off now. I already see what's coming, and it's starting already. You got Tiafimo saying, "Nah, I'm good." You got Rolly saying, "Nah, I'm good." You got Tank saying, "Nah, I'm good. I'm a star." So now the freeze out of Devin Haney has already begun. And then Chris Mannix, and you know what I'm saying? I forgot to talk about that. Chris Mannix, not Sergio Mora, but Chris Mannix said that Devin Haney wasn't marketable right now. Well, if you're Tank, who would you rather fight? Like it never ceased to amaze me. See, let me explain to you in black terms what they were saying. Well, Devin Haney's image is too clean, so he's not marketable. So I guess if Devin Haney like put up a whole bunch of Instagrams with him holding a tech or some shit like that, or a gun, or you heard about Devin Haney getting to a hit and run, or slapping some chick up, he'd be marketable. That's pretty much what they were saying. They trying to Andre Ward him. That's funny. You got Bill, who a real bona fide street dude. You got Bill, that's a real bona fide street dude, who tried to keep his son, who kept his son level-headed, kept him out of trouble, took him to a boxing gym, let him become a professional boxer, and people saying, oh, he's not marketable. That's what they pretty much saying when they say, oh, he's not marketable. Nah, he don't have a rap sheet. He ain't no thug. He don't, you know what I'm saying? He don't talk hella crazy. He don't act like Adrian Broner. That's what they mean by that. They basically saying his image is too clean. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You can't be. See, the thing is, it's like I said. If you a black fighter, you gotta act a damn fool for people to take notice of you. But then they'll complain about how they don't like you. But they'll say, oh, we don't like guys like Tank Davis. We don't like guys like Tank Davis. We don't like guys like Adrian Broner. We don't like Floyd Mayweather's. But then when they fight, people will tune in to watch them fight, just to bitch about how they don't like them. Do that make any kind of sense? That's exactly what these people be doing. That's exactly what they do. That's code. Y'all gotta understand, that's code talk. Like I told you, man, I don't be worried about being politically correct. I'm not being politically correct no more. That's what they mean. That's what they mean when they say, oh, he's not marketable. He's not marketable. He's not sellable. They basically mean, well, he don't act a damn fool. He conduct himself like a professional, so nobody don't want to see that. Like I said, and you know what's so ironic about that shit? That both Andre Ward and Devin Haney is from the Bay Area. Both of them is from the Bay Area, and you see the similarities. They said that about Andre Ward can't sell tickets. The Andre Ward is not marketable. He's not a pay-per-view star. That's what they mean. That's what they mean. That's code. That's a code word. When they say, oh, he's not marketable, he's not a draw, basically what they saying, aka the nigga ain't thug enough. He ain't street enough when they say he's not marketable. Nah, they want you, like I said, I guarantee you, if Devin Haney started like getting in trouble, you start hearing about him. Oh, Devin Haney gets caught with a gun. Oh, Devin Haney is accused of domestic violence. Oh, then all of a sudden people will be saying he's marketable. Like I said, that's code. That's code words. That's code talk. When they say that type of shit, y'all gotta watch out for the hook, line, and sinker. That's what they mean when they say, "Oh, he's not marketable. He's not a draw." They mean for a black fighter, his image is too clean. He's too professional. You just heard about Tank being involved in a so-called hit and run. Everybody talking about that. Like that's like the hottest thing. But people will say Tank need to stay out of trouble. But I bet you the next time Tank fight, people gon' buy that shit. Like I said, I get tired of this stuff, man. I get tired of this stuff, man. Like how they do like certain black fighters, man. It just need to be said. It just somebody got to say this shit, man. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. It got to be said. I know what they trying to do. You got Bob Arum saying, "Nah, we don't want Teofimo to fight Devin Haney." You got, like I said, Ryan Garcia. "Oh, I'm not interested in fighting Devin Haney." I mean, you got Tank saying, "Nah, I'm good." It's like this, and I'm gonna put this out there. If Tank go his whole career without fighting any good black fighters, I'm going to call for a boycott, because at the end of the day, it's time to hold Floyd accountable. The best fight to make for Tank is Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. As I said before, why can't us black people, like I said, why can't us black people get fights that we want? Why can't we get the fights that we want? Why can't we have our own fight? I mean, Canelo and Julio Cesar Chavez fought on Cinco de Mayo. Why can't we get Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. in February in Black History Month? Tell me, why can't we get that fight? Why can't we get a fight between our own? That's all I'm asking. Why can't we get a fight that we can celebrate? You know, I don't want to hear this shit that Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. ain't gonna sell. People gonna buy that fight. But like I said before, you got Floyd who don't want to give a brother a payday. Okay, the Sugar Shane Mosley fight, okay, that fight made financial sense. And then Floyd only fought Andre Berto because that was like his very last fight, his very last professional fight. But look at all the other brothers he could have fought. So I'm just saying, I see that Floyd is finna give Tank the blueprint on how to not fight black fighters. And that's pissing me off. Nah, I understand, OG, but at the end of the day, we got to start calling Floyd out, man. Floyd got to start giving these brothers a payday, man. Because like I said, I'm tired of him making these Mexicans rich and they getting paydays, but then he don't want to give his own people a payday. And Floyd need to be called out on that. Like I said, I'm the biggest Floyd Mayweather, the boxer fan there is. I love Floyd as a fighter, but Floyd as a person get on my fucking nerve because he don't do right by his own people. Like I said, he always want to steal the spotlight from everybody. He won't even let Tank finish a sentence when he do a press conference. He won't even let Tank talk. Like I said, for God's sake, do you got to make every damn thing about you? Like I said, I'm not finna let Floyd keep doing this Mexican charade shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is charade. You got to give a brother a payday too, man. Say what you want to say. Look, I'll put it to you this way. This is real talk. Like, I may have had issues with Sugar Ray Leonard. I didn't like how he conducted himself sometimes, how he would act. But at the end of the day, Sugar Ray Leonard would try to give brothers a payday for the most part. You know, how can you sit up there and make it look like black fighters versus black fighters don't sell when the biggest fights in history that took place been between black fighters? Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hagler. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hearns. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali versus Frazier. Muhammad Ali versus Foreman. Muhammad Ali versus Ken Norton. You know, for real. So how can you sit up there and try to act like fights between brothers don't sell? Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. That fight did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. So how can you sit up there and say that people don't want to see blacks fight? But Floyd want to do this, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was kind of mad that Tank came out wearing Mexican apparel, because it made me want to throw up. And I'm just not that I have an issue with Mexicans unless they have an issue with me, but Tank is black. Why don't, like I said, how about this? Like I said, why don't Tank and Gary Russell Jr. set up a fight for pay-per-view in February, Black History Month, and Tank come out wearing a dashiki? You know Gary Russell would do it. So that's what I'm saying. And all that's gonna happen is Floyd gonna see this video, he gonna get mad. But Floyd, I mean, it's like this. Tell me where I'm lying. I want somebody to tell me where I'm lying. Because I'm not lying on Floyd, I'm telling the truth. I see what he's trying to do. And like I said, if Floyd don't let Tank fight no good black fighters, we gonna boycott his ass. If Floyd do not set up matches for Tank to fight good black fighters, I'm not gonna buy his pay-per-views. I'm gonna stream Tank's pay-per-views, and I'm gonna tell people how to stream them. Gary Russell Jr. need a payday. Like I said, stop making these Mexicans rich and start giving the brothers a payday. Like I said, this shit gotta be said. It gotta be said. I'll say it right to Floyd's face. I'll say it in front of his face, in front of Leonard Ellaby, in front of Al Heyman, in front of Floyd, in front of his security. Floyd, stop giving these Mexicans paydays. Let a brother get a payday for once. And not when Tank is on his way out. Yeah, well, Lamonte, you one of the very few people that won't hold Al. You know what I'm saying? That's holding Al Heyman accountable. Because I'm holding Al Heyman accountable too. Like I said, this gotta be said, man. I'm not worried about no Al Heyman. I'm out of that press credential shit. I don't care about that shit no more. So I ain't gotta watch what I say. Cause Al is in on this too. Like I said, I don't know what they got against Gary Russell Jr. where they have just screwed Gary Russell Jr. time after time after time by giving Gary Russell Jr. these unattractive boxing matches and these unattractive opponents that nobody really don't care to watch Gary fight. They couldn't even match. They couldn't even put Gary Russell in the ring with Abner Mares. Like I said, Gary never got his chance with Leo Santa Cruz. I have never seen a man where they just have basically played games with his whole career. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. is, what, 32 now? 31, 32, 33? Like I said, if you want Gary Russell out of the way, just give him a big payday. Put him in a ring with Tank. Nobody cannot tell me that Gary Russell Jr. versus Tank will not do solid numbers. They have a live crowd. They have, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. They sitting up there. They all sitting up there basically, you know, not getting dates. And then when Al Heyman put together these fights, like I said, him giving Errol Spence that all Mexican undercard, that was disgusting. That's what I'm saying. Why can't the brothers be featured on this card? Okay, he did cool with the Tank card. Okay, we got to see Regis. Okay, that's cool. We got to see Regis. I mean, this stuff gotta stop, man. This shit gotta be said, man. It just gotta be said. I'm the one to do it. Cause like I said, I'm not worried about backlash and all that type of shit. I'm not worried about it. You know, you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. So I'm just keeping it 100. Devin Haney already getting froze out, and that's a damn shame. Now I'm gonna talk about Bud right quick, and then I'm gonna take a breather, go knock out some video. You know, I was dying laughing. You know, some of these dudes on YouTube is such flip-floppers. Like, and I know who they are. It's amazing. You know, it's a good thing that I secured that interview with Bomac. You know, because people was ready to flip on Bud. They was ready to become bandwagon Kell Brook fans. But I've seen this before. Because these the same people that turned on Keith Thurman and was rooting for Manny Pacquiao to beat Keith Thurman. So they was rooting for Kell. Some of these dudes, look, I'm gonna just say it. Like I said, nobody tells me what to say on my channel. I'm just keeping it 100. A lot of people, look, I keep telling you, appreciate that. I don't even know who that is. I heard about him, but I'll check him out later on. But it's a lot of people that's praying. It's like that song by T Grizzly when he say people praying for my downfall. Yeah, I know Keith Thurman didn't fight Errol Spence, but I wasn't rooting for Manny Pacquiao to beat Keith Thurman. Hell no. But just like they was finna flip and root for Kell Brook. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard Dana White is getting into boxing, but he been talking about that for the last 2 years. All I can say is, if Dana White get into boxing, if he run boxing like how he run the UFC, boxing is gonna be in deep trouble. But at the end of the day, this might be good, because then maybe we can start getting the fights made that we want. Like I said, I'm not a Dana White fan, but at least for the most part, he make the UFC matches that people want to see. That's what I'm saying. He landed Carissa Shields. This is what I'm saying. Boxers better get on they P's and Q's. Yeah, well, that's why Manny Pacquiao didn't want to give Keith Thurman a rematch. But this is what I'm talking about. But I just saw people how they was ready to flip on Bud because, you know, Kell Brook did an interview. Like I said, I'm just past that shit. And I called Bomac. Bomac responded. I got the interview. You know, he broke it down. Like I said, man, I just don't do that flip-flopping shit. I just don't do that shit. I can, you know, I'm just over it. Like I said, I've been got over Bud not talking to the media or whatever the case may be. But the funny part about it is we working on getting Bud on my show. I talked to Bomac behind the scenes. Bud watches my channel. Bud likes my channel, so you never know. Bud may come out of nowhere. Just like Bomac came out of nowhere. One thing y'all need to understand about me, I'm always working behind the scenes. Making the phone calls, reaching out to people. You know, either they gonna respond or they not gonna respond. Like I said, I'm working on some big shit. I'm working on some big time interviews. You know, I don't want to jinx them, but just stick around. Yeah, Lamonte, you just gotta move on, man. All this, like, you know what I'm saying? Wear your emotions on your sleeve and your shoulders and shit. I got over it. Like I said, if the nigga talk when he want to talk. Like Bud is just an up and down dude. Like, you see it last year, he finally spoke to me. You know, I asked him what's the end result of versus the Mean Machine. He finally looked at me and said, I'm a win. He said something. Shit, that was good enough for me. Because usually, you know, Bud is known for ignoring people. So, at the end of the day, like I said, I done got over that shit. I'm not finna keep dwelling on it. Like I said, whenever he want to come on here, I already told Bomac, Bud is welcome on here. Any of his fighters is welcome on here. You may see Heron on here pretty soon. Like I said, I'm working on some big time shit. Just stick around. Real talk. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Just check out the videos I got coming up. I got some fire coming up. This is your boy Town Biz. I'm out.